Joining me now with more from San Diego, California is geophysicist Stefan Burns. Stefan, thank you so much for joining. And last night, at least here on the East Coast, was supposed to be a better viewing night. What can our viewers see in this parade of planets?
Yeah, so we have a great planetary alignment coming up with all the 7 main planets. And in fact, also the moon will be joining in on this. And the main planets that will be visible will be Venus, Jupiter, and Mars. But you also have Mercury, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune all participating. But they may be a little harder to see in the night sky because of their location or because of how bright they are. Uranus and Neptune are very dim. But Venus is very bright on the western horizon after the sun sets. Jupiter is very bright directly overhead after sunset. And then Mars is reddish and more off to the east.
Okay, so what's the best way to actually get a good glimpse of this?
You would want to go out right basically at sunset, and ideally have some elevation and a very clear horizon, so no clouds and no obstructions. And if you have those conditions in either binoculars and a telescope, you probably could see Saturn and Mercury, but you're going to have to look through the glare of the sun because you're still going to have a lot of light in the sky. But after the sun goes down and a little bit of time elapses, then Venus will appear very, very bright, and you'll have Jupiter overhead, Mars a little bit further east. They'll be visible for everyone to see under most conditions unless the weather's really bad. And so you'll have at least 3 planets, very easy to find, really bright, and that's quite extraordinary in and of itself. Then you'll just have to know that the other ones are all there in a line too.
What causes this to happen?
It's based on the different, basically, orbits of the planets and how they move through space. And Neptune has a very slow orbit of 164 years, and so sometimes they congregate and they kind of group together. And so we've been having these planetary parades for a while. The great ones of all 7 planets don't happen that often. We had one back in 2022, but we don't have one after this for some decades, like all 7 planets. It's so far out I can't figure it out yet. I need to look a little bit more, but this is probably a once in a lifetime for us now, last great planetary parade.
Really? So we wouldn't have seen one of these. Is there a date that the most recent one would have happened, Stefan?
Yeah, it was, I think it was June 17th, but there was a bit of a window with it because of how the planets are moving and everything. But it was like June 17th, 2022 was the last time we had a great planetary parade. But because of how Jupiter is moving through its orbit, we're not going to get another one for a while. And then the other planets will start to break apart right as it comes back into position. And so it's going to be at least a few decades. I think it's probably more like 22nd century though, but I need to check.
So it certainly is a cool phenomenon to observe for anyone who is interested in the night sky and space in general. Is there anything that usually coincides with this? Any weather patterns? Anything else that our viewers should be aware of?
Yeah, so this great alignment, they're all basically visible in the sky, but they're not aligned in, for example, a line in space. With like Earth being in that vector. So there's no gravitational effects or anything like that. But perhaps there's some sort of metaphysical effect. I mean, a lot of people look at these things, they put a lot of thought and energy and belief into them. But in terms of like hard science, there's really nothing to this other than it just being something really nice to go out and see, and just kind of awe-inspiring, you could say.
Stefan, are you going to be watching? You're based in San Diego. Is there good viewing in San Diego?
There is. If we have no clouds, I have the clear horizon because of the ocean, and I just look west and I see it every single night. So yeah, I'll be out there tomorrow night, and hopefully I'll catch it.
All right, great stuff. Geophysicist Stefan Burns, thank you so much for joining, of course, amid the parade of planets.
Thank you.